Hey, you guys. Hello, everyone, and welcome. My name is Jeneth Blackert, and I am your host for Bliss Week. And today we are on day 3, interview 4. And we've been talking all day really about self-empowerment, empowering yourself to make choices in every area and every way of your life. And Hollie is, I'm going to call her Hollie Z because she pronounced her last name and I go, what is it? It's gone. She's really a self-empowerment, women's empowerment coach. And, I really fell in love with her work, and I really thought that she'd be a huge contribution for you guys in really taking you into more self-empowerment, more making real choices in your life so that you can live the life that you want to lead. So I'm going to go ahead and put her up here. And I want to first kind of dive into take us back, Hollie. What was it that really started you in this area of work where you were focused on helping women take the lead in their life?
So it started for me a couple of years ago. I worked for about 10 years or so in a corporate setting. My role was an administrative assistant for a large corporation. I was in that for about 7 years or so. And I thought that that's where I wanted to be. I thought that that's the life that I was going to have, working the 9 to 5 and making everybody else happy, essentially. But I knew that that wasn't the work that I was really meant to be doing. I just didn't know what that looked like. And growing up, I didn't really get the chance to learn how to empower myself and to build that self-confidence. Instead, I felt like there was specific characters and people in my life that kind of sort of hindered me in certain ways. And so I didn't have a lot of confidence growing up and knowing how to say no and knowing how to be there for myself. And so then after a while, after I was working in this job, I knew I needed to do something deeper, more meaningful for the time that I wanted to do. And so it came about roughly a little over two years ago. And then during that time, I was like, okay, this is my time to really dive deep and look inward and discover who I really am, what I'm meant to be doing, who I'm meant to be serving, what type of work, and all that kind of thing. And then so along with that, I was able to really deepen my personal development and personal growth, spiritual growth and development as well. And so I realized, that I am the soul. I am where I get my happiness from. Like happiness comes from within, and building my confidence and all of that. Like I have to look inward and be that source for myself instead of searching outside of myself for validation and approval.
That must be today's theme. Because we were actually, Anne, I think both Anne and Carly this morning both said that almost exactly, was that, it's like great to have facilitation, but it really always comes back to like pulling it out of you, coming from like internal, you just don't know that you just need it to be like brought into life. Yeah. So talk a little bit about more of that. Like, how do you work internally and help facilitate others to get them to really awaken to that, what I like to call the knower inside?
Well, for me, I've been lucky enough to have like the last 2 years where I've got to spend a lot of time with myself. I've been unemployed for a little while and then diving into building my business as a coach and life coach, and then, working some side jobs here and there. So I've had a lot of time to be alone and be in solitude and incorporate journaling practices and learn a lot from from a lot of different other spiritual teachers and coaches along the way. And so I think if you get the chance to spend time with yourself and really eliminate those distractions, right? Because a lot of times if we're by ourselves and we feel uncomfortable, we want to turn on the TV, or we want to watch a movie, or we want to reach out to a friend, instead of really sitting with ourselves and thinking about who am I in this world? What do I want to create? Who can I help, and how can I move forward? And so, and the people that I help and the women that I have served, I've guide them through that and coach them through that and remind them that they have the answers within themselves, and how important self-love and self-care is. And that's the purpose of the spiritual journey as well, I believe, is learning how to love yourself inside and out and realize that you are the source of everything that you need.
I love that. Oh my gosh, that's so beautifully said. So I want to play with you guys in the audience. Do you guys have anything where you feel that you're rejecting yourself, you're pushing yourself away, something that you're totally resisting that Hollie could facilitate you through? I'd love to play and see if she can kind of coach and facilitate you a little bit through things. That's also been a theme on this call that we've talked about is self-care, is that, people think that they have all these things that they have to do to get, to self-care themselves. And really, really trying to kind of shift it as, yes, there's these like luscious delights and pleasures, but really it's about coming into being the love that you actually are, like the universe having your back and being that actual love. Do you want to talk a little bit about how you really bring self-care into your life, and, how you look at that and self-love for you?
Yeah, absolutely. So one of the biggest things that I've learned to embrace and practice and put forth into my life is having healthy boundaries with other people. Because I learned a while ago, well, now on my journey, that I'm an empath. I believe that I'm an empath. And so I'm sensitive to other people's feelings. And so I never want to hurt someone else's feelings. I never want to put someone else down. I don't want to say no. So I would tend to give my power away. And because I have the ability to hold space for other people, and I allow people to speak and to be heard, because I know what it's like to not have someone that's going to sit there and really be present with you and hold that space. So I did that a lot, but I didn't have proper boundaries in place, and I didn't know how to not empath their energy on a unconsciously, in an unconscious way. And so then I would kind of take on some of their energy, their thoughts and their emotions, and not realize it. And then I would have to process that later. So now for my self-care, I learn how to set up healthy boundaries for myself. I also have incorporated a morning ritual, or a morning routine, if you will. So like I said, I'm lucky enough to have plenty of time in my day. I don't have to rush off anywhere. But I didn't always establish a regular morning routine. So no matter what now, I set an alarm for myself, and I give myself at least an hour or so, if not more, where I just get to spend time with myself. And so I don't even check my phone unless it's for like an emergency or someone sent me a text or an email, but that's it. Like I don't hop on social media. I don't start replying to emails. I don't even really text people or call people or anything until I've given that time to myself. And so the things that I do each morning might vary. So maybe I might journal, maybe I might, listen to some YouTube videos, maybe I might sit in meditation, or, just kind of talk out loud to the universe. I do that a lot, like speak about my intentions or my thoughts, and really making sure that I give myself the proper time and care that I need alone. And so I'm also a big advocate for drinking plenty of water. So to me, that's a really huge form of self-care as well. And so I remind people of that. Getting enough rest. I'm really lucky and grateful that I'm able to give myself 8 to 9 hours of sleep every night. I'm a really good sleeper. And I've noticed a huge difference because before, when I worked Monday through Friday and I would have to get up at 5:30 or 6 in the morning, and I struggled through the whole day, even if I went to bed at 9 o'clock at night. It's just, I struggled, And so now I'm really grateful that I have that time. So I think that that's really important to prioritize your well-being. So that includes your mental health, your physical health, your emotional health, and your spiritual health.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think that, so much matters when you don't take care of your body, and I don't think that people even realize how much it's taxing on them. Yesterday we talked with a girl who did like flower medicine, and she really brought in, how she was like eating McDonald's and junk and kind of grew up on it. And she didn't realize how awesome she could feel if she just started to eat healthy, like real organic foods. And I would have to agree. Sometimes I, can just drink water and it almost affects me like coffee. It's like, oh my gosh, I just needed to be hydrated. Who thought? Those are great tips. Thank you. We have a lot of questions over here.
Okay.
And you can pick which one you want. We have a question from Allie that says, I feel like I'm resisting my desire to go after what I want with the fear that I might fail. Renata says, it's not easy for me to show myself and talk in public. Juliana asked, can you help me with weight loss? And Dawn just acknowledged that she's an empath. I think everyone probably on this call is an empath and probably even an intuitive if, because we have been, we're seekers, right? We're dreamers, we're seekers, we're here to make change. So we definitely are probably all, noticing other people's energies quite dynamically. So one of the questions that might help you and is, who does this belong to? Am I just like noticing someone else's energy or is this actually, for me to notice and change? So.
Yeah, absolutely. I can speak to that a little bit further as far as being an empath. It was one thing that I've realized we're all empathic to some degree. I think that the more that you awaken to that and you become more self-aware, it's good to know that about yourself and realizing that you don't have to unconsciously or consciously empath everybody's energy because we all have this energetic field around us. And so when we bump against someone else's energetic field, sometimes it might not feel very good, or they might have a lot of healing to do. And so at being empathic, we're also natural healers, that I believe that our energy is healing other people's energies as well. And so it really takes a lot of self-awareness around that and deciding that, okay, you know what, I'm safe, I'm loved, I'm protected, no matter where I go, no matter what I do. I know myself, and I know that when I feel energy from someone else that doesn't feel right, I can acknowledge that, but I don't have to take it on as my own. And so and giving yourself a lot of proper rest and alone time is really, really helpful in learning about that. So I wanted to address one of the questions here. As far as Allie says that I feel like I'm resisting my desire to go after what I want and the fear I will fail. So I can tell you I've definitely had that feeling because
I think everybody's had that feeling at some point.
Right. Yeah. Because it's like, okay, you're resisting your desire to go after what you want and fear that you will fail. We all have that. We all have that self-doubt. And that just comes from, I think that comes from the ego perspective, because the ego is trying to keep us safe and to keep us small in a way. It doesn't want to risk failing because that could mean the death. a death of some kind, right? And so all it is that we can push through that. But if you're feeling resistance, I would encourage you to dig a little deeper and maybe journal about that. So if you were to write down, if I could have everything I want, and if I could do whatever I wanted without fear being in the way, what would that look like? How would you feel? And just ask yourself why you're feeling resistant to that. Is it all just fear-based? Is it things that have happened to you in the past? And then flip the script and think, okay, but what if it all goes well, right? I think a lot of us tend to plan for the worst case scenario and for the worst that could happen. But what if we thought about it and what if the best could happen? You know, everything's working out for me for the best case scenario. And so instead, what if we focused on that to move forward and to figure out what we're most desiring and why we want that?
Yeah, one of the great coaches that I worked with used to say, your point of view creates your reality. Your reality does not create your point of view.
Oh, I love that. That's really good.
The narrative, right? If you change the narrative, you will create the narrative. And that seems to be more and more coming true to me, although it takes some work, big time. So, yeah. So she asked for journal just for my fears or observations.
So for me, I have a journal that I just write about anything. I write about, first of all, things that I want to create or embrace or welcome into my life. So I write down like my future, what my future life looks like, right? I have fears or anything like that. You can just journal about anything. But if you are figuring out, or if you're trying to figure out where the resistance is and why you have the resistance, then yes, start with your fears, because essentially the resistance that you're feeling is rooted in some kind of fear that you have. And think about why you have that fear and kind of break it down from there. And observations are great too, you know, observing what you're feeling, what you're thinking, and so on and so forth with that. But
yeah, no, that's great advice. You know, I used to journal all the time. And one of the things that I noticed was just common things that I was just, I felt like I needed to empty my brain first, right? So it was like, all right, anything in my brain, I'm just going to dump on paper. And then I would start to go into, you know, what's the resistance? Because the resistance could be beyond fear too, like in different ways too. So it's like, is there even something else here? So just to add just a nugget here too around fear, I think this will help everyone. I interviewed somebody that was called Fear Forward. She's a professor at San Jose University, and this is literally what she does for a living. She studies fear and like the different elements of like how it shows up. Like it shows up in procrastination and anger sometimes even, and other things. And what I really got out of that call was you can't get rid of fear. Like it is inherent to our survival. So you get to just always play with it. It, you know, it very much is just, that's why she calls it fear forward, because it's just kind of just notice it and choose beyond it anyway. So
exactly.
Kind of, yeah. We forget to actually play with these things. We just like to like run and not look at them.
Totally.
Yeah. Okay, great. So she said she's never journaled about that. Well, there you go. Maybe it's something to do. So do you want to, let's see. The next question is that it's not easy to show up and speak in public, which again is a fear.
Yeah. I definitely can relate to that because my spiritual and personal development journey, I was always afraid of being seen and being heard as well. Because I didn't have confidence either in the way that I thought that I could speak or the words that I would say. And getting up and speaking in front of many people did scare me a lot as well. So, and for me now being a coach and having to have a social media presence and perhaps do live videos or share videos on Instagram or Facebook, that's been something that I've needed to get over as well. So I think it takes practice and just experimenting with it for a little bit at a time. But you say it's not easy for me to show myself and talk in public. So I'd like to know a little bit further, like what exactly you mean. Like where in public are you speaking for events? Is it for work? Or are you doing speeches? Like what, I'd like to know, Renata, a little bit more about that and what you mean about showing yourself in public and speaking in public.
Yeah, that's a great question. I think it's a muscle, right? In a way, like, gosh, it was hard for me to show up on these kind of things for a very, very long time. And I think the more you do it, the more you're just like, all right, I'll just be me.
Yeah, another thing I want to add to it is that seriously, nobody is perfect, and you know, you just gotta face that fear and just go for it. And so, what a lot of the times, what I'll do to get myself before I know that I'm going to talk or speak, or even do something like this, is I try to do like a little grounding meditation before, if I can, or if I just. One thing that I learned from someone that I follow is if you are feeling anxiety or fear or stress or whatever it is, give yourself a chance to move your body, like get up and do a couple jumping jacks or run around or literally just shake it out. And then take a couple of deep breaths for 60 seconds. Take deep breath in, deep breath out, because what you're doing is you're moving that energy and you're getting out of your head and into your body, and then setting your intention.
Do that.
Yeah, just like shake it out, right?
Yeah, right. We need to have a dance party.
Yeah, because give yourself a
I need it.
And what I like to do too is I ask for protection from my guides as well, or ask for their presence to be with me, and just ask for protection, for light, for support, all of that, and set my intention and say, you know what, I trust that whatever I'm going to say, whatever I'm going to speak about in this moment is meant to be what's going to come out of it. I'm not going to die. Okay.
Yeah.
I know I'm not going to die. And if I end up saying something silly or I mess up, hey, that shows that I'm human and that I'm not perfect and that nobody's perfect. And maybe I might inspire someone in some way. So I'm just getting out of my own way, essentially, and letting my higher self and my guides and source to come through.
Yeah. She said it's mostly on social media. So
okay,
she is showing up here.
Yeah.
So thank you. And I think that's also a must. You just got to get out there and you can always delete it.
Yeah. So I was going to say too, so now I know in terms of social media, another thing that you can practice if you just want to practice showing up on video and speaking or doing lives is go to do a live on your Facebook, but set it to, I think you can set it to only you. Because if you go to, you can share posts on Facebook.
Right.
So you can adjust your audience. So that way it gives you practice of showing up, speaking, talking, or whatever it is that you want to do. And then you can review it and practice with it and pretend as if you are going live and that people are watching you.
Right.
And comfortable with that. Or maybe even doing it then later in a private setting, or if you have a Facebook group, or if you want to only have like a few, like let's say 3 or 4 people, you can adjust your audience level on Facebook and kind of play around with that and get yourself comfortable with that. And then also if there's things that you want to talk about or speak about, it doesn't hurt to have some notes or write it out, or kind of have a little bit of a plan of what you want to share about, what you want to speak about. So then you have a guideline so you don't get yourself off topic. I find that to be helpful as well.
Yeah, no, that's great, right? And we forget to like play with it that way, to get ourselves more, really there and embodied in that moment in showing up. That's terrific. And the last question that we had, and you guys, give us more questions. What else is going on? But this is fun. Julie Anna asked if you can help with weight loss. So might need more information about that and what's specific. That is about self-love and presence and embodiment. So I'll let you take the lead with that.
Yeah. So I'd like to, in terms of, weight loss, like what you're thinking or what exactly you need. But I guess for me, I haven't really had to, I'm not a weight loss coach, but what I can say, what's worked for me in the past, I've always been relatively healthy and thin. But I would say it just depends on what your body is. You don't have to be so restricted in with what you do. I think definitely getting proper rest is very, very helpful. Because when you've gotten enough rest, then you don't need as much food throughout the day, at least in my experience. And then also drinking plenty of water. So that's going to help you with your food intake. So for me, like I'm not really hungry as much throughout the day. If I get up, I have maybe one small meal and I eat what feels good in that moment. And I drink lots of water, and I could exercise a bit more and move my body, but I like to go dancing and things like that. So that's kind of a form for me. And then just being really mindful of the types of food that you eat. And you can still eat kind of what you want, but in moderation. Moderation is key. And if we go back to the basics of trying to lose weight, it's all about lowering your caloric intake. And so as long as you are, moving your body and you're not eating more calories than what you need, then that's going to help you with weight loss.
It's not always that way. JJ Virgin really talks about how your body's a chemistry lab and not a counter system, although that counter system does work. I just don't want to lock a belief in there.
Yeah. And like I said, I'm not huge on, weight loss and all of that, as being able to speak to that. But I'm just saying that because
those are great tips.
Yeah. I mean, that's one aspect. That's one way, I suppose, is but it all just depends on your body type, maybe your blood type. If you know what your blood type is, I've heard of that. Like they have blood type diets, like just foods that you want to incorporate, good foods to eat, but
also ask your body, right?
Ask your body. Yeah. Ask your body what your body needs in that moment. Does it need some fruit or some vegetables? Does it need to move? Do you need some extra water? Does it need rest? All that kind of stuff.
Yeah. That's fantastic. Thank you. Gosh. So you kind of practice a meditation that you said you would kind of walk people through. Do you want to kind of offer that to them now?
Sure. I can try that out.
It's just like how you put it. I can try it out.
I'm just going to kind of wing it in this moment. I'm not used to leading guided meditations, but I've listened to enough myself, and it could just be very simple, if you will. So I would suggest getting in a comfortable position wherever you are and taking a moment to close your eyes and just take a couple of deep breaths in. So breathe in, breathe out, And just do that for a couple of seconds there. Just let everything go in this moment. You don't have anywhere that you need to go, anywhere that you have to be. Just be fully present right here and right now. And just keep breathing. And then I want you to imagine that you have this cord that connects from your root chakra, from the base of your spine, that goes down into the earth. You have this cord that runs all the way down to the earth, connecting you, grounding you to that sacred earth energy. And that your crown chakra, that space just above your head, is open. And that imagine that you have this beautiful, bright light that's just pouring down upon you. Just feel that light and the warmth come through your body. And it goes down and moves through your body. And it connects to the cord that's going into the earth. And this light energy moves through your body, connects to that, goes down into the earth. And then imagine the earth energy coming up, back up through that cord, up through your body, up through all your chakras, and then out through the top of your head, back out into the cosmos, into this beautiful space. And just visualize this energy, this life force energy, running all through your body, helping to keep you calm, relaxed, healthy, and vibrant. And just sit with that for a moment. Okay, and then just imagine yourself now with this energetic bubble around you of light that's always with you. And then you can open your eyes and just feel that beautiful energy. You went silent. I can't hear you.
All right.
There you are.
When I mute myself, I have to be careful because I can't unmute it. It'll like flip back and on, and I can't tell if I'm muted or not then. Wow, that was so earthy and groundy and delicious.
Yeah.
Yeah. You guys would comment and let us know, like, what, if you could put it in one word, what energy or sense or how you feel now. I would love for you to write it in the comments. That was beautiful. You're like, I'll try.
I was like, don't know exactly how I want to word it.
She's like, like, so yeah, because I just think it's important for us to have and practice these experiences from various different energies. I feel like that has been the key to making a lot of change in my life. Like really going through the work, doing the practices and not just talking about it. Although the way you were talking about it, you were like actually having us put some practices in place. I think I can start journaling again. Dawn says peaceful. I think that's another beautiful word for it, right? Peaceful.
Yes.
Jude says, any idea about sleep problems due to pain at night, especially with sleep hygiene, no screens, an hour before sleep. I actually forget some nights about this sleep hygiene to-do list, do's and don't do's. Jude, if you, the very, very first call, if you do all of that, she says to turn off your technology 3 hours before. I was like, well, that's not going to happen. It might one day a week. She says energy. She felt
Jude,
nourished. She feels nourished. It's a good word.
Oh, good. I'm glad. Well, in terms of pain at night, yeah, I'd be curious to know a little bit more, like what kind of pain you're having and why that is. But yeah, I didn't get a chance to watch the first interview about that person who spoke about sleeping and turning off screens 3 hours before bed. That's pretty awesome if you can do that. I know that I'm guilty of looking at my phone and watching TV sometimes till late at night, till before I go to bed. But one thing that helps me that I've gotten in the habit of doing is I remove my phone out of my bedroom, because I would have no problem with shutting it off and not looking at it while I'm in bed. But when I would wake up in the morning, I'd pick up my phone and I'd scroll and start looking through it. So I do know that on your phone though at night, like even if you are looking at your screen before bed or whatnot, if you can turn the blue light filter off, that's going to be really helpful. If you can do that. And I would say at least maybe a half an hour to an hour, if you can, start with that before you go to sleep, to maybe shut off the screens, whether that be your phone, your TV. And if you need help with like getting a little bit more sleepy and falling asleep, you can read a book perhaps, or I know that screen might be involved, but if you can put on like a meditation in the background, or even listen to some binaural beats, or a meditation or a guided meditation that's going to help you calm down and feel relaxed and be able to go to sleep. So, but I highly recommend, if you need to have your phone in your room at night, or if you use it for alarm or whatnot, put it on airplane mode, because you want to take the Wi-Fi off for sure, because you don't want to have like things dinging and blinking at you and all throughout the night. Even if you turn it on do not disturb, you're still kind of getting some psychic activity. Yeah, and the frequency. So that's what I find to be really, really helpful. But in terms of pain,
she says it's the back of her skull. Actually, we addressed that on the second call with Nicole Sanchez about that area specifically, by the way.
Oh.
What your thoughts are, Hollie?
Sorry, your screen freezes up a little bit. What did you want me to ask about or speak about?
She said the pain is in the back of her skull.
Okay. Yeah, I'm not too sure. I haven't experienced pain in the back of my skull. I think it would just, what are you doing throughout the day? Yeah, is it the way that you have positioned your head? Yeah, I'm not too sure if I can speak to that, because I haven't experienced it myself, but I would just recommend proper self-care if you can, just allow yourself time to relax, maybe doing a quiet meditation before bed, drinking some water or some chamomile tea, just whatever you can do to get yourself in a relaxed state before you lay down and go to sleep.
Yeah, you might want to consider another pillow too.
Yeah,
that might.
Maybe it's just a more comfortable pillow.
Yeah, that was a big thing with me a few years back. Not having the right pillow, I was waking up with neck pain. And then I couldn't sleep the next night because I had neck pain. And then I would try another pillow, and then I'd be cramped up. It's like solved everything. And hydration. Hydration is huge with like aches. Access consciousness, they say that that part of your neck back there is your power band. Yeah. And you can literally like run the energy back there with just putting your hand back there. And Nicole said, she says it's often related to eye strain. So it might be something else to consider too. If you need new glasses or something is going on where you're straining your eyes, that might be something to consider as well. Nicole gave all kinds of remedies. I mean, it was, she does flower medicine. And man, that girl was like full of, it was like sucking from a water hose. It's like, whoa, I'm going to have to go back and watch this one.
Okay, good to know. Yeah, I caught the last little bit. I'll have to check it out myself.
Yeah, she was pretty neat. She was pretty neat. All right. Well, you guys, kind of feeling like we should wrap it up. I've got one more call, and I think I better do like some jumping jacks or something. I have all this like bubbly energy going on from all these calls. Might need to take 10 minutes off and run around the block or something, you know, so I can settle down for that last interview. Anything else that you want to add, Hollie?
Not really, but I would just say, I can't stress enough the importance of regular self-care practices and incorporating that, especially if you're the type of woman or person that tends to put the needs of other people before your own. And if you have issues with saying no to yourself so you can make sure that you please other people and take care of other people, that you are the only one that can truly take care of yourself, because it's going to bite you in the butt later down the road. You're going to either end up feeling burnt out and stressed or have health issues because of it. So if you can at least start carving out half hour to an hour in the morning before you start your day, before you interact with people, and centering yourself and getting alignment and setting your intentions and envisioning how you want your day to go, setting yourself up for success, making sure you have plenty of water, or if you need your proper snacks throughout the day, taking a proper lunch break if you work regularly Monday through Friday during the day. Give yourself that time to do so, and then schedule yourself some self-care time as well. And what does that look like? Maybe you just want to go and hang out with a friend or go watch a movie, take a nice bubble bath, read a book, go for a walk, do something that you really enjoy. That's another great form of self-care, is doing things that you love and that you enjoy, and making sure that you schedule yourself time to do that on a regular basis. And you will feel so much better, and you will not reach a point of stress, overwhelm, and burnout as quickly if you stay on top of it. So that is what I help people do. That is what I coach people on and coach women on, empowering them to stay accountable to that through my one-to-one services. So
fabulous. Do you want to give your website?
So actually, well, in terms of website, I'm in the process of building and creating one right now. So I don't have one at the moment, but
Instagram.
Yeah, Instagram, just at Hollie Zaretzke Coaching. That's HOLLIE ZARETZKE.
Okay, here, let me let me type it. So Hollie with an IE, I know. And then it's ZARET. Okay.
ZARETZKE.
Okay.
Yeah. So they can find me.
Coaching. All right, there you go.
And my Facebook page as well. I have it titled as Hollie Zaretzke, Empowered Soul Coaching. And my email address. So you can contact, if you go to my Facebook page, there should be a link for my email address, and then there's a phone number. They can send me a private message. Reach out to me if you would like some support, some help around that, some guidance, some accountability to help you stay on track.
And you guys, if you ever need anyone or you want to be connected with someone, then just email us. Like most of you are on the email list. If not, you can get on Messenger and then just reach out to me and I will send you the contact or information, unless they are one of those people where they don't want to be reached in that way. So if you ever need anything, that's also a way to reach us. Hollie, this has been great. Thank you very much. Hollie is one of the people, I said there was 2 people that didn't have a contribution or put something in the box, basically because she's a coach and she hasn't created a digital product yet. So maybe when and if we have her on again, we will try to encourage her to get a digital product for you guys. So, but yeah.
I was going to say, I know I haven't added something to the box, but, I'd be happy to offer a free, 30-minute self-care strategy session if people are interested in that. So anyone here.
Sorry, I missed that. Your audio cut out.
Oh, I was going to say, since I know I didn't have something to add to the box, but I'd be happy to offer anyone a free 30-minute self-care strategy session.
Oh, fabulous. Okay, great. So there's another little strategy session. Get the box. And you want to talk with Hollie, then she's going to offer a 30-minute session. So we also have another girl that's offering a full session. So you're going to get some coaching with the box, which I think is really freaking cool. So that's awesome.
Wonderful.
Yeah. All right, you guys. Well, thank you so much for being the contribution and really participating. I'm going to hop off and then we'll start. Who I call like my little Buddha friend. He's adorable and childlike, and he takes you on these journeys, adventures that are beyond. Really, really one of my favorites over and over the years. I've even had an out-of-body experience with his work. So if you're ready and to do more today, then join me in an hour, because I think you'll really adore him. So Hollie, this has been fabulous. Thank you. And magic. And, as we go through these calls, really let us know what your big takeaways are, your contributions. I'm giving away 2 tickets to my live event coming this January 18th and 19th at my beach house here in Texas. So, all right, once again, my phone is on mute, but my watch is not. So I'm sorry about that.
Well, thank you so much, Jen. It was great to connect with you and be a part of this. And,
it'll be fun to continue to play in some way with you. So thank you.
Awesome. Thank you.